everyone. I'm Dan Filgreen, and this is Shell Point Today for the weekend of October 4th, 5th, and 6th. On today's show, Dr. David Eichten tells us how a partial knee replacement may be just the right surgery for you. But first, our weather here in Southwest Florida has finally started to shift from ghastly hot and humid to, I might actually take a walk outside for a few minutes. With this in mind, the Shell Point Walking Club are commencing their expeditions for the season. There are plenty of scenic places to walk in our area, and on Saturday, they're going to the jewel of the island coast, Sanibel. They'll be traversing the wilderness of the Pond Apple Trail, the unique Periwinkle Park, and of course, the beautiful shell-lined beaches. Now, you do need some stamina to keep up with the Shell Point Walking Group, as this hike will travel at least 3 miles, and 6 miles for the more advanced walkers. If you're up for the challenge, then bring your water bottle and walking shoes and meet at the carpool this Saturday morning at 8 a.m. at the island's administration courtyard. For more information, call Jim Plummer at 337-2721 or Bob Chamberlain at 454-3917. For many people, it can be hard to walk if your joints are slowly wearing themselves out. But there are solutions available, whether the problem is the foot, the hip, or the knee. Orthopedic surgeon Dr. David Eichten is here to talk about the newest option, partial knee replacement. He'll be speaking at Shell Point next Friday, October 11th at 10:30 a.m. in the Woodlands Oak Room. Here's a preview.
I'm Mary Franklin with the Future Health Connections program, and you're going to be excited because Dr. Eichten is back once again at Shell Point, and this time he's going to be talking about partial knee replacement. Is this a right surgery for you? And he'll be in the Oak Room in the Woodlands at 10:30 a.m. on Friday, October 11th. Thanks for coming back and joining us again.
Well, thank you for having me.
For those who are seeing you for the first time and maybe thinking of coming to your presentation the first time, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I actually grew up in Minnesota. I'm out of the cold weather.
Smart.
Right. So, and I did my training in Kansas City at the medical school there. That allowed me to do a rotation down here as a med student. So I was here for a couple years. Actually did a rotation at Shell Point with the family physicians here.
Right.
I went to Ohio for medical school with Ohio University, or for residency. And then I also did a joint replacement fellowship, which is an extra year of training in just hip and knee replacement.
Right.
And that's where I learned advanced techniques, minimally invasive surgery, anterior approach to hip replacement, and all those techniques that'll get better outcomes for my patients.
Okay. Partial knee replacement versus full knee replacement.
Right.
Why would you choose one over the other?
We break up the knee joint into 3 compartments. One underneath the kneecap.
Okay.
The other one's on the inside of the knee, and the other one is on the outside of the knee. All those areas are covered with cartilage.
Okay.
They cover the end of the bone. The cartilage can wear out. Most patients, the cartilage wears out in more than one compartment. In that case, you would probably need a total knee replacement.
Okay.
Occasionally, we see isolated arthritis in one compartment, and they're a candidate for a partial knee replacement.
Okay.
So you're only replacing the cartilage that's worn out. You're keeping more of the patient's knee. The knee feels more like a normal knee, and you're also keeping a ligament, the ACL, which you have to take out when you do a total knee replacement.
Okay, so I'm assuming that the recovery time is quicker. Do you still go through the same type of therapy afterwards?
Yeah, the therapy is going to be very similar, but patients have less pain. It's a smaller incision. The patients recover a lot quicker with the partial knee replacement. And also, you still have to get your motion back, which is why we do the therapy. But it also feels like a normal mechanics of a knee because you're keeping as much as you can of the patient's normal knee.
That's good.
Total knee replacements, we haven't perfected the mechanics. It's just too complex.
Right.
But it does get rid of their pain consistently, and it's a great surgery.
I often hear on campus, residents will say, oh, I'm putting off my knee surgery. I'm going to deal with the pain a little bit longer. I'm going to get another shot. How do you know? Do you have to go to the doctor to find out it's okay, it's time, or is there?
Usually when I see a patient, we know their x-rays are bad, but I try not to treat the x-rays, I treat the patient. So everybody's a little bit different in where they are. If the shots still work, there's no reason to get your knee replaced. When the shots stop working, then you may want to consider it. The other reason that people go to the knee replacement is we know it's going to get rid of their pain. So if they're fed up, they can't play tennis, they can't do golf, they can't do the activities, even just walking, the knee replacement will get them back to their activities.
Okay.
And I usually let the patients decide. I never want to force surgery on anybody.
No.
My part's easy. It's
Right.
recovering that's hard for them.
Right.
So I'd rather have them decide when they want to have it done.
Well, thank you for being here. We're looking forward to this presentation. If you would like to sign up, you can do so by stopping by either service desk or giving them a call. Again, this program is Partial Knee Replacement. Is it right for you? It will take place in the Oak Room at the Woodlands at 10:30 in the morning on Friday, October 11th. I'm Mary Franklin, along with Dr. Eichten. Make it a happy and healthy day.
Coming up, we are replaying some of the week's best stories from ShellPoint TV. But before we do that, it's time to cover all of this weekend's happenings, Academy news, menus, and church news.
The weekend is here. It's the first weekend of October, and we have a lot of great activities for you today. So Bev and I are going to start with Friday morning at 8:15 a.m. Stamp Ministry volunteers at the Stamp Room on the island. And it's the Friday tradition here at ShellPoint from 8:30 to 11:30. Marketplace will take place in the administration courtyard. 9 a.m. round robin men's doubles tennis will be played. And at 9:30, the Susie Q boat will take off for downtown Fort Myers for lunch. Sign up is required. Inquiring Minds will be gathering in the Manatee Room at 9:45. And Canasta will be played at 10 a.m. in the game room of the Woodlands. 12:30, Mixed Progressive Bridge will be played in the game room at the Woodlands. And at 1 o'clock, the Diabetes Group Appointment will take place in the Social Center on the island. And at 1:15 on Friday, you can join the table tennis group in the Tarpon Room or the Quilters group in the Osprey Room. And the Model Train Room will be open for tours today from 1:30 to 3:30. Make sure to put this on your calendar to see the new and improved layout from all the work they've done over the summer. 1:30 is also time for the Vespers group to be meeting in the community room of the Arbor. And if you enjoy the game of euchre, you'll want to be in the Sable Room at 2 p.m. 2:45 is the time for Vespers in the community room of King's Crown. And Friday night wraps up with game night in the Resident Activity Center at 6:45. Bev, take it away for Saturday.
Well, Mary, thanks. Saturday starts out at 8 o'clock with the round robin men's doubles tennis game going down at the Woodlands tennis courts. And then 8 o'clock is also the time for ShellPoint Walking Club. They're going to Sanibel Island, and they'll meet at the island clock in the administration courtyard. At 9:45, we have Duplicate Bridge. This will be played in the Manatee Room on the island. 10:15, those model yachts will be sailing at the Woodlands Commons Lake. We move to the afternoon where chess will be played in the Library Lounge at 1 o'clock. And then you can also head down to the Tarpon Room if you like table tennis, and you can play table tennis. It's open all weekend unless it's otherwise posted. At 3:15, we have basic line dancing in the Health Club on the island. And our last activity for Saturday is 6:30 with Duplicate Bridge in the Manatee Room. What about Sunday, Mary? Are we done yet?
Not yet. The fun continues, and you can start your Sunday morning off with Christian Life Studies. In the game room, it starts at 9 a.m., and in the village church, it starts at 9:15. Morning worship will take place at 10:15 in the village church, and if you can't make it out today, you can watch the broadcast live on ShellPoint TV, Channel 12. 2 p.m. is the time for the Mixed Golf League at the ShellPoint Golf Club. And at 3:15, ballroom line dancing for beginners will take place in the Health Club on the island. And we wrap up Sunday and the weekend with 6:15 evening service in the village church. Bev and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you right back here on Monday.
Hi, I'm Terry Coleth with your Academy information for the weekend, October 4th, 5th, and 6th. At 9 o'clock on Friday, our Life Review Reminiscence class continues in the Buttonwood of the Woodlands. Next week, on Monday, the 7th of October at 1:15, we have Arab Culture. This is part 1 of a 3-session course with Doug Quelch. Special reminder, the class has grown large and it's been moved to the village church, so everyone's welcome. Those who registered, those who are on the wait list, and those who are just hearing it today and think, I'd like to go. You're all welcome at the village church. On Tuesday, October 8th, we have the printing press, a how-to class. Herb Sklar of Eagles Preserve will explain the printing press that the Academy has to anyone who would like to use it. We'll also have the 4th session of the Story of India with Professor Adrian Kerr, and an Apple iPad class, Why Do I Need One?, with Bruce Findlay of Sundial. Also an e-reader Apple iPad class with Penny Modrich of Nautilus, and Dr. David Rambo of Solana will start storytelling. On Wednesday, October 9th, we have Internet Prep School, Help and Support from Richard Nelson of Lakewood. On Thursday, the 10th of October, Session 2 of Matisse and Picasso, Art History with Dottie Megan. And Apple iPad, Apps with Bruce Findlay of Sundial. Then on Friday, Bruce returns with Smartphones, Apple iPhones. I'd like to give you a quick Academy update about 2 courses we've moved to the village church. Each of these courses has 3 sessions. Arab Culture and Why Do the Nations Rage have each received more registrations and more waitlist requests than we can fit into the rooms they were scheduled in. So each of these 2 courses and all 3 of their sessions have been moved. Just check the weekly reminder. It will tell you the current location, which is the village church. And this means that everyone is welcome. Those who have registered, those who are on the wait list, and those who decide the day of the course they'd like to join us, you are all welcome.
Menus for your weekend. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter on Friday is linguine and clams with steamed broccoli and garlic bread. For dinner, it's the seafood buffet for $14.95, and the soup of the day is lobster bisque. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Friday, enjoy fish and chips for $7.25. The dinner special is Chef's Choice for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill on Friday are lamb chops for $20.95 or chicken marsala for $13.95. On Saturday, the Crystal Room is closed. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Saturday, enjoy a Sloppy Joe with coleslaw for $7.25. The dinner special is spaghetti and meatballs with garlic bread and sautéed broccoli for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill on Saturday are prime rib for $19.95 or grilled snapper for $13.95. On Sunday, the Crystal Room features its Sunday brunch for $17.50. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Sunday, there's a bacon, egg, and cheese croissant with fresh fruit for $7.25. The dinner special is Chef's Choice for $8.25. And the Palm Grill is closed on Sundays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
It is a joy to welcome you to Village Church Connections, and a real privilege for me to be here with our pastor, Pastor Andy Hawkins. Welcome, Andy.
Thanks. Great to be here.
We are here to talk about the weekend, but before we get into what's going on this weekend, you have a word of thanks for our community.
Absolutely. We have some great news to report, and we certainly are delighted to remember that in the past number of weeks we've had a food drive that the Village Church sponsored but collaborated with the Shell Point retirement community. And during that food drive, over 1,000 pounds of food was collected. In addition to that, nearly $3,500 in monetary support was also provided to buy food through the local food pantry. About $1 in monetary donations produces about $6 in buying power.
Through Harry Chapin.
Yeah, through the Harry Chapin Food Bank. And as a result, that means that the Shell Point community essentially was able to buy more than $20,000 of food for local residents who need it. So that's, I think, a wonderfully exciting development, and we're pleased to be able to report that.
We certainly are, and we appreciate so much people's partnership with that ministry.
Indeed.
Now, as we look forward to the weekend, I know we have a special guest with us on Sunday morning, an opera singer. Her name is Chin Ye, and she comes from Shanghai. She's trained in a conservatory in Russia, and she is now studying at Nyack College in New York City. and we are so privileged to have her here.
Now, obviously, we have great music here at the Village Church, and this is one of those occasions in which we can find a guest artist who really does use their talents and gifts for the glory of God, and we find that once again in an extraordinarily gifted young lady.
And then we also look forward to your sermon every Sunday morning. You are still in Ephesians 6.
That's right.
And you're unpacking what for us?
We're kind of coming down the home stretch in the book of Ephesians. We have a couple more messages to bring from that passage, but we're in the context of that spiritual warfare section in Ephesians chapter 6. And last week we considered the armor of God and in the various ways in which we can prepare ourselves for the spiritual conflict that we always find ourselves in from time to time. And this week we actually extend that to include the power behind that kind of preparation, which really has to do with prayer. It's important to see how valuable prayer is in the day-to-day lifestyle of the believer, especially as we face various challenges to our faith in whatever form they might come. But prayer is essentially the key element that provides the power for that.
Good thoughts. I think all of us have found the study in Ephesians to be very meaningful. Mm-hmm. And I especially have appreciated Ephesians 6. Mm-hmm. Be strong in the Lord, and then he talks to us about how to do that. So very exciting. And then Sunday night, you're continuing the series on Noah. We've covered a lot of ground, but there's more ground to cover.
That's correct. And we're coming down the home stretch in that series as well. In this particular case, we're going to be talking about rainbows. We see lots of rainbows around here in southwest Florida as a result of the sunshine and the rain, all those kinds of things. But actually, the rainbow has important significance in the covenant that God established, not just with Noah and his family, but the covenant that God established with the entire human race, in fact, with all of the creatures who were saved as a result of the flood or through the flood. And as a result, God promised to really to care for the planet in a way that would not destroy the earth by flood again. And that's the sign of the covenant. So when we see the rainbow, we're supposed to think of certain things, and we'll discover what we're supposed to remember about God's intervention in the affairs of human beings when we study that passage.
Great. So we have wonderful times of worship ahead, both morning and evening, and great times in the Word, and something for us all to anticipate.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
So we invite you to join us Sunday morning at 10:15, Sunday night at 6:15. We would love to have you there. Have a wonderful day today.
It's time now for our ShellPoint TV Weekend Review. And to guide us through is my colleague, Kara Minui. Kara.
Thank you very much, Dan. We began this week by talking about the Suzy Q, which is visiting some exciting new destinations this fall.
I'm Mary Franklin from Resort Services, and I am here in front of the Suzy Q5 boat. I hope you have had the opportunity to enjoy a trip in the months of August and September. But what I want to talk to you today about is about the upcoming trips in October, November, and December. On Monday mornings, we'll be heading out at 10 a.m. to Matanzas Inn, which is a Fort Myers Beach tradition. It's a great restaurant. I know you're going to love it. On Tuesdays in October, November, and December, we have 2 trips available. The first one is at 9 a.m., and we're going to be heading out for a dolphin and sightseeing tour. Traditionally, we head out over by Picnic Island, where the dolphins enjoy playing and going behind the boats and doing a few tricks for you. We come back in from that trip at 10:30, have a quick turning around, and we go back out at 11 a.m., and we're heading to the ever fabulous Rum Runners restaurant. I know you all enjoy that trip, so make sure you sign up for it. And on Thursday, we're heading out at 10 a.m. over to Pine Island to Woody's for lunch. This is a new restaurant we're trying, and I know it's going to be fabulous. Those boaters that are out on the water quite often enjoy stopping there for lunch. And on Fridays, the first and the third Friday of each month, we will be heading downtown Fort Myers. We'll be leaving the docks at 9:30 here, heading to Fort Myers downtown, and if you've been down there lately, they have totally renovated the waterfront area. It's beautiful with new docks. You will have the opportunity to choose from several restaurants down there, for example, Ford's Garage or Firehouse. Wonderful restaurants, and then we all head back to the boat, and we'll be back here at 2 o'clock on Friday afternoons. Now, all those fabulous trips I talked about, you can sign up for those at the volunteer greeter desk at the Resident Activity Center, Monday through Friday from 9 to 3. You can stop by or you can call them at 454-2136. And the most fabulous part about all these trips, all of the trips are $5 per person. You can't beat it. Another thing I'd like to remind you all about is the private charters that are available to you on the Suzy Q5. They've been very popular. We've had several courts that are going out on trips and also family reunions, and this is a great opportunity for you to be able to get out on the water with your friends. If you would like to sign up for a private charter, you can call Melody Desolé at 454-2290. So here's your chance to get out on the water. I hope you do so today. For Resort Services, the Suzy Q, I'm Mary Franklin. Make it a great day.
Jim Plummer joined us to talk about all the computer classes available in the Computer College.
Hello, everyone. I'm here today with Jim Plummer of Parkwood, and we're talking about something he is a major part of, and that is the Computer College and the Academy at Shell Point. Thanks for joining me, Jim.
You're very welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, we've discovered that we have September under our belt, and we're going into October now, and we have a few openings. So we wanted to tell everybody what kinds of classes we have coming up in October and November in the Computer College.
Now, we have 7 courses that are right now, seats are available in them. And they're all pretty doggone good courses and critical for developing your skill levels with computers. And I would include in that right-clicking, a very important skill. Photoshop Elements is a course for those of you that do a lot of digital photography and want to enhance your photos. Harold Sear does a fantastic job with that. He's really good at that. Word Processing with Russ Cray, also a good course. All these have a few seats left in them. Picasa. And for those of you that have not spent a lot of time on the computer but want to go on the internet to look at the internet and do email, Richard Nelson is teaching a basics course that concentrates on internet. So that's a good one also.
It certainly is. And then you can go on with your creativity and make greeting cards with Print Shop.
Yes. This is in November. There's a Print Shop course, and there's also a Macintosh course for those that want to do greeting cards as well.
Another very popular course, Advanced Memoirs on the Computer. So many people love that, writing your memoirs on the computer, and those who have the skills would be eligible for the advanced course. That reminds me that I'd like to talk a little bit about skills and how critical it is to really know your skill level before you take a computer class, isn't it?
It's a little frustrating for both the student and the instructor if you end up in the wrong level, of course. We have numbered our courses in a way that you can make it easy for yourself. A 0-level course means that you're a brand new beginner that maybe not even touched a computer before, but you're excited and you want to learn what a computer is all about. Next up is the 100-level courses. All of those courses are for those that are still beginners, but you're broadening into other areas of interest. And you get to the 200 level and the 300 level courses, it becomes more and more difficult, and we make assumptions when you come in the course that you have certain skills already, like you know how to use a mouse, you know how to use a keyboard and things like that. So it's you need to do a self-evaluation before you get in the course, or you're going to, if you go on a 200 level course because you have free time that day, then it's going to be frustrating for you, and it may slow down the whole class as well.
And another beautiful part of the Computer College is each of the instructors list their names and their court right on the course description. You'd all be very amenable to someone giving you a call saying, this is what I want. Am I going to be in the right course if I sign up in your course? And then how great to know there's no frustration when you get there.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That's very much the case.
Oh, and it's so generous. Not only the planning of the classes, the teaching of the classes, but the real desire to make sure that people get this information in the right level.
But the good part is, if it's not the right course, all of our instructors know of all the courses. They can give you a hint on what a better course.
So you talk about those 200 courses. Anything above that?
The 300 level courses are really for those that want to narrow your focus in on something very important. And this particular October, the Advanced Memoirs course and the Photoshop Elements courses are both 300 level courses. So you need the Photoshop Elements. I know people that are taking digital photography want to learn how to manipulate them. Sure. We have a Picasa course that Larry Brock teaches, and he's really good at. He's really good at this, and he can help those that may perhaps are a little bit lower level than what Harold expects you to really know what you're doing.
Yeah, and that program kind of demands it.
Yes, it does. It does.
Well, you're all so generous and so gifted. I thoroughly enjoy reading the evaluations that come in, how appreciative people are of the time and talent. I'd just like to say that if you look at these courses and you look at the computer college listings in the Academy brochure and you say, I already know all of that, we've got a job for you. You could come and be an instructor. Start out as a helper if you're not ready to go right in front of the class. But this is a wonderful opportunity in this computer college for people who know about computers, have a passion for them and what they can do, and also the generosity to help others, like Jim Plummer and the people he represents in the computer college at Shell Point.
The Shell Point Golf Club has gone through the wettest summer on record, but will soon be dried out and ready to play on brand new greens. Mark Jacobs has this update.
I'm Mark Jacobs. We're here at the 5th green. A few months ago we were out here looking at the beginning portion of the renovation project for our new greens when they were tearing up the dirt and drainage and pipe, and that whole process has gone really well. Our contractor did a fantastic job putting our greens to the specs that we were looking for. Wanted to give you an update of where we're at and what we're looking forward to. So far it's been a pretty heavy rainy summer for us. Posed a few challenges, but overall the conditions of the course, as you can see behind me and as we look around, the conditions are pretty good and we're very green from all the rains we've had. We're getting ready for our opening. We certainly look forward to it. We just need things to dry up for us a little bit so we can get to those final stages of being prepared. Overall, the general conditions of the course are looking very good. We look forward to getting ready and being open for everybody here in October, and we hope that you'll join us.
If you have a chronic medical condition, that's no reason to throw in the towel. A new program from Lee Memorial can help you manage it. Here's a preview.
I'm Mary Franklin here with an impactful Health Connections program coming to Shell Point on Mondays starting October 7th for 6 weeks. And they're going to be meeting in the Sable Room at 8:30 a.m. until 11 a.m. The title of this program is It's All About You, Chronic Disease Self-Management Program. We're going to be talking today about Session A that will be taking place. And I'm here today with Joyce Hall from Lee Memorial. Thanks for coming here today, Joyce.
Well, thanks for inviting me, Mary. I really appreciate it.
Tell us a little bit about your role with Lee Memorial.
I am the Community Health Program Coordinator for Lee Memorial.
Okay.
And this is a program that we started in February of this year. And it is geared towards people who have chronic health conditions. The title we chose, It's All About You, is because it truly is all about you and the decisions that you make in regard to your health and wellness, and that's for each one of us. This is a research-based program that was developed by Stanford University, so we're very excited to be working with Stanford and offering the program to our Lee County residents.
What are some of the topics that you're going to be touching on over the 6 weeks?
We talk about a myriad of things. I think the key is that it's not a sit, didactic, listen workshop.
Right.
It is very participatory. It is lively. There's a lot of discussion. We talk about things that are common to people who have chronic health conditions, such as sleep problems, fatigue, stress, anxiety, difficult emotions. And we talk about ways to handle those. We teach them skills that we call using your mind. We teach them action plans. They learn how to, a better tool for decision making. And so it's quite a dynamic workshop, and we are very excited to be working with Shell Point on this program. The goal of the program is to help each person who attends be a better self-manager of their health, to understand the importance of exercise and the impact that has on your health. We talk about nutrition and reading food labels. We talk about the different types of fat. We talk about the plate method for looking at your food intake and how much you should be eating of each type of food throughout the different programs. We also talk about medication using and working with your healthcare professional, because that's a big part of being a self-manager, is taking the initiative and bringing things up to your healthcare professional and working with them to ensure that you receive the care you need, but yet that you are in charge.
Okay. And it's for anyone who has a chronic disease, correct?
It is not geared to any specific disease. It's really for anyone who has a chronic health condition.
So anyone can sign up that has a chronic disease. What if they would like their spouse or a friend to come with them to learn along? Is that okay?
Yes, it is. In fact, we encourage individuals who have chronic health conditions to bring a support person with them. They would have to register for the program, and they would be expected to participate in the activities.
I understand each participant receives a free book?
Yes, actually they do. It's a wonderful resource guide. It covers more material than we could cover in the workshops, but it does have all the material that we cover in the workshops in here as well. And the National Council on Aging has indicated that this book is an indispensable guide for people of all ages who have a chronic mental or physical health condition. So I think that they will really benefit from the homework assignments that are part of the actual workshop.
That's going to be a very powerful tool for many to learn. And if you would like to sign up for this program, you can do so at either of the service desks. And it's going to be an important one. So if you'd like to sign up, the space is limited. We have to have a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 20. So please sign up either service desk by giving us a call or stopping by. Joyce Hall, thank you for being here today. I appreciate you coming out. And I'm Mary Franklin for Health Connections. Make it a happy and healthy day.
We are in the midst of the Bakeless Bake Sale, which raises money for the Larson Pavilion Auxiliary. Sherry Brown tells us more about the impact.
Hello, everyone. I'm here today talking with Sherry Brown, Director of Long-Term Care here at Shell Point. And we're starting the Bakeless Bake Sale for the auxiliary in the pavilion, as you well know. And I thought how nice it would be if we could have our Director of Long-Term Care talk about just one aspect of what our auxiliary does, and that aspect is education. Thank you for joining me, Sherry.
It's always a pleasure, Terry.
And it's always a pleasure to talk about the auxiliary, isn't it?
Absolutely. They are remarkable people doing wonderful service. Every day.
Every day. Now, I asked you to talk about education because that really does affect not only residents of the Larson Pavilion, but really residents of Shell Point. And we have the Health Education Fund funded partly by the Bakeless Bake Sale. So how important is that to what you do?
Well, you know, Terry, growing up in a family of educators, I've always recognized the value of education in everyday life. I have to say in the pavilion, it's a building block to be able to bring new ideas to staff, to continue educating and certifying them. And the auxiliary supports that so wonderfully.
How does it work? How does somebody benefit? How does somebody, first of all, get in line to make use of that educational support?
Well, first of all, being a staff member in good standing. And they may be pursuing a change from CNA to LPN or from LPN to RN. So as they see what they're doing and we are able to evaluate their performance in the pavilion, supervisors can suggest or the staff member themselves can ask, what are my opportunities to pursue furthering my education?
So Sherry, that's how we access this great opportunity. Who is using that opportunity?
Well, I can tell you, Terry, most recently, there are 2 nurses. Both were LPNs. One has completed her RN program and is now practicing in the pavilion as a registered nurse. The other has been an LPN in the pavilion, and she's just about finished with her program, ready to take her clinicals. And I would say within the next month to 2 or 3, dependent upon when she takes her state boards, she'll also be functioning as an RN. What a great way to grow the skills and increase the depth of knowledge of our nursing staff.
And you, as the administrator, with your huge responsibilities and your large staff, how wonderful to be able to say to a deserving person, we know you're good, we want to keep you here, and we have a way to help you further your education.
Absolutely. And I can tell you even another nurse story. A nurse who's been a registered nurse working in a program of advanced assessment of residents, going back to school to work on her baccalaureate degree. And so, again, another wonderful opportunity for her to grow. And as the administrator, what a great gift to be able to say to staff, we have an opportunity for you to help you with the financial burden.
Well, you've just heard from our Director of Long-Term Care, Sherry Brown. I hope you've seen how Sherry and I both appreciate the opportunity to work with the auxiliary, and we want you to know that as they're starting their Bakeless Bake Sale, and how important the educational part of what they raise funds for is all about. Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you.
The Shell Point Open Golf Tournament is coming on Friday, November 8th, and it seems everyone is excited to get out on the course.
Hey, Tim, how you doing?
Hi, Dave. It's good to see you. Good to see you, Jason.
Hey, Tim. So ready to play some golf today?
We are. I'm here to warm up for the Shell Point Open Golf Tournament being held Friday, November 8th. This is the 10th Shell Point Open.
Okay.
The Legacy Foundation has been sponsoring.
Hey, what's going on out there?
Shell Point Golf Club for 10 years.
I wonder what they're talking about.
Not only do we
Am I going to get to go outside today? I love going outside.
Be the first to be out on the brand new greens at the Shell Point Golf Club.
Is that open to everyone?
It is. And the $125 entry fee includes a lot. It includes 18 holes of golf and a cart. It includes breakfast, lunch, gift bags on the cart, even includes mini massages for all the players.
That sounds great. I guess we need to practice to get ready for it.
That's right. I guess the first thing I need to do is grab some balls.
Okay.
Hey, he's coming over here. This means I get to go outside today. I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun. Finally, we're outside. It's such a beautiful day today.
So, when do all the festivities start, Tim?
Well, on Friday morning, November 8th, we'll gather for breakfast about 7:30 a.m. And then at 8 o'clock, we're going to start with a shotgun start.
Shotgun start? Oh, that sounds dangerous.
How you like my driver? I call him Sluggo.
Sluggo? I wonder if he'll be friends with me. Hey, is that big middle thing gonna be mean to me? Hey, he's bringing it too close. What are you gonna do with it? Oh, no! Wow, I've never been up so high. Oh, I'm falling. Oh, look out for the sand trap. Oh, oh. Wow, I'm glad that's over.
And this year, we have some special prizes.
Oh yeah? What's that?
Well, we have a hole-in-one competition on one of the holes. If you were to hit a hole-in-one, you get a 2-year lease on a brand new car.
That's worth practicing your iron shots.
Yeah, and don't worry about that one, Jason. I got it.
Wow, a brand new car. We'll be living in luxury. Oh! Look out, I'm getting closer to the hole. Oh, 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 oh. Finally, I'm on the nice soft grass of the green. Nothing bad can happen here.
So Tim, let me get this straight. At the Shell Point Open, you get 18 holes of golf.
Yes.
Free breakfast.
Yes.
Free lunch.
Exactly.
All these great prizes.
Yes.
All for $125.
Exactly. And you get a chance to do good in your donation.
Guys, why are we standing here? Let's go sign up.
Let's do it.
Hey, guys. Where are you going? Hey, aren't you going to put me in the cup? Hey, I'm all alone out here. Oh! Oh! Hey! Hey, let me go! Oh! Oh, hey, stop that! Hey! Hey, I don't want to go for a bath! Oh!
Shell Point Open Golf Tournament on Friday, November 8th.
It's for everybody. Well, almost everybody.
Actually, this isn't so bad. I have the sun, the water. I could stay here all day.
Shell Point's Medicare billing department works hard behind the scenes to expedite your medical bills. Let's learn more about them.
I'm Mary Franklin here today with an upcoming Health Connections program. It is with Joni Reagan and is Get to Know Your Shell Point Medicare Staff. It is Tuesday, October 8th at 1:15 p.m. in the Social Center. Joni, you head up a wonderful staff here at Shell Point that's behind the scenes. Most people don't even know. It just magically poof happens, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, what's back up? And you tell me a little bit about yourself, because, Joni, you're up in the finance office and administration, but I don't think residents have had the chance to ever get to meet you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I have been working at Shell Point for 15 years. And I started out as a staff accountant here at Shell Point. And then 5 years ago, I added on being the healthcare billing manager.
Joni, your mighty team of 3, how much do they bill a year? How many?
We bill about 62,000 claims a year.
Wow.
We are very, very busy.
Okay, all right. And where is your team located?
We're on the 2nd floor of the medical center. We are located down the hall from the psychiatric offices.
Okay, just not too far from Shell Point TV on the 2nd floor. You'll go past there and keep on going around the corner, right?
Right.
And your team's here not only to process all of those claims, but to help explain to residents what's happening, right?
Yeah, we're also available not just to do the claims, but to answer questions for residents. If they have any questions at all, or if they don't understand something or they're not sure of something, we want to have this seminar to just make ourselves known, and so that people will feel more knowledgeable about coming up, and they'll feel like they know us already. When they come up, they'll be more confident about it.
So a lot of times people call on the phone and you answer their questions, or your team answers their questions, but to know that they can come up and chat with you. So those people, anybody can come up and come to this presentation so they know what you're there to help them with, and when you get all of those reports in the mail from Medicare, to sort through them and what questions to ask. And okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is going to be a very informative and educational presentation. You are going to be there, and your entire team?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so a whole panel answering all the questions that our residents may have about Medicare.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this presentation is really to get to know the Shell Point Medicare billing staff. And on November 1st, you have another session to follow this up on. And what is that all about?
We're going to be talking about open enrollment. I believe that starts October 14th. It goes on for a couple months, and that's when residents can choose if they want to stay on Medicare, original Medicare, or if they want to choose a Medicare Advantage plan. And then also if they choose Medicare, they probably will need a secondary, so then they have to choose that too.
Okay, so October 8th is to learn about you and what you all do. Get familiar with each other. November 1st is to specifically talk about their Medicare options available to them. Okay. Well, these programs are both going to be wonderful, but the first one is on Tuesday, October 8th at 1:15 in the Social Center. I really encourage you to come to this session to get to know your Shell Point Medicare billing staff. I'm Mary Franklin, along with Joni Reagan. Have a happy and healthy day.
On Monday, you have the chance to learn all about Arab culture from former Navy Commander Doug Quelch.
Hello, I'm Terry Kolath, and I'm here today with Doug Quelch of Fort Myers, and we're talking about a program he's doing in the Academy, 3 sessions on Arab culture. Thank you for joining me, Doug.
Thank you, Terry.
It is such a privilege for us to be able to welcome you to the Academy with your amazing experience, especially this semester when we're trying to figure out just what is Islam and what does that mean to us. So we're delighted that you're going to present this program.
Well, thank you. I've had an opportunity that most people haven't had, in that not only have I been to many Arab ports in the Navy, but I was privileged enough to work for a company in Washington for 11 years and spent almost 8 of them actually living in Saudi Arabia. And the average citizen can't go there. It's not a tourist destination. So almost for survival, I started reading books, and I had many friends that were Saudis and Egyptians, and I just became very interested in this, and I hope that what I have to offer will be something of benefit to Shell Point and to the community at large.
I'm sure it will be. First question that probably we all have. You're a retired commander in the Navy. You have 3 master's degrees, and I just want to share what they are: National Security Affairs, National Security and Strategic Studies, and Management. How did you get interested in Saudi Arabia? What took you there to begin with?
Well, I had been to one of the ports once and seen Saudi Arabia from a distance, but when I actually lived there, and the way I got the job was I had retired from the Navy and was living in Newport, Rhode Island, and I was teaching school, and a friend of mine who I'd been with at the War College called up and said, "Guess where I'm going?" I said, "No." He said, "Saudi Arabia." "Saudi Arabia?" He said, "Yeah, and I'd like you to come and be my assistant." So the company flew me to Washington a week or 2 later, and I was interviewed, and 2 months later I was on a plane thinking, where am I going? But,
and that was it? You just went
yes.
to Saudi Arabia, cold turkey. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about how you learned about culture. I've been just amazed at everything you shared with me about Arab culture. How did you learn it all? Was it on-the-job training?
Well, we were working side by side with Saudi enlisted men officers, and I ended up making a friendship with a man who was a Saudi, and he was a general in the army. And we would spend hours every week discussing things of the world. He was a very educated Saudi and very moderate in his views. And he introduced me to many of his friends. We would go to places where Westerners don't normally go. And through that friendship, then by working with Saudi officers, I became interested in the culture. So I hope this course will help give to the people of Shell Point some of my journey and how Arab culture and Islam affects us as Americans.
Thank you, Doug, for saying yes, that you would come and speak to us.
Thank you, Terry.
Well, I just want to say that the interest in this class has grown so much that we are going to be moving it to the church auditorium. So if you were registered for the class, if you were only on the wait list, doesn't matter. Please come. And if you have not signed up at all, you are welcome to join us for Session 1, Session 2, Session 3 of Arab Culture. We are beginning Monday, October 7th at 1:15 in the afternoon. So looking forward to this information. Won't you join us?
Joe Grapes is nearing his 100th birthday, and he still works out in the health club 3 times a week. We talked to Joe and his daughters to learn more.
Patterson, New Jersey, November 1st, 1913.
That was a good year.
That was a good year. Had the Marsh Canal in the front yard and the Lackawanna Railroad in the backyard.
When you were a kid, what was your favorite sport?
Football. We had no pads. You didn't have pads in those days. You had somebody handed you out an old sweatshirt, and that's what you played with. Didn't have a helmet. Didn't have none of those things. And there was no 2-platoon system. You were 1 platoon, that's all. You stayed in there until they carried you out, right? I played guard, and I was the guy to open up the hole if we had a cross buck or a plunge through the line.
Dad also did semi-pro coaching for a football team.
Yeah. But I only did that for a couple of years, And I was a scoutmaster for 16 years. I think I told you about that. I was married in 1935, and I couldn't find a job. I lost my job 2 weeks after I got married. And then it was depression. You got a job, and it was short term. And anyhow, the best jobs I had were when I worked for the Aero Carrier Corporation. I worked as a loader on a loading dock, and I did that for 5 years. And then I went in the Postal Service in 1941, and then I stayed there for the next 32 years. Camping was fun, and I enjoyed camping, I'll tell you that. And had an old knapsack and threw a can of beans in it. By the time lunch rolled around, all the food was gone. We could not, you know, we just, you were always hungry, you know? And by the time you got up there, well, you had probably eaten most of the food anyhow. But when the kids were born, and then, yeah, we went camping. I used to take a pup tent out of the troop, and we used to camp in that. And then we bought a Volkswagen camper, and we camped in the Volkswagen with a pump up top.
I remember the pup tent. It was like we were going camping, and we were supposed to have a tent, and Dad rolls out the tent, and he throws it out, and it goes whoosh, just like that. It was short, and Mom looked at him and said, "What do you think you're doing? Where's the tent?" Dad got the wrong tent. The air mattresses leaked. Needless to say, it was an adventure, and we always had a good time, but it was always an adventure. There was always little hiccups.
I remember going crabbing and the Jersey Shore, and we would use a line and a fish head, throw it overboard. And I remember one time Dad said, "Throw out the anchor," and I stood up just like they do in the movies, and I swung it around and threw it out and went out with the anchor.
Yeah, she forgot to let go of the rope.
They looked at me and said, "Get back in the boat."
He always had a very strong hand. And I remember when I was little, if I got in trouble and he was coming home and I knew I was going to get a spanking, I used to put books in my underpants.
Yeah,
so that,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
And then he'd take me into the bedroom, and then he'd give me this long story about how it's going to hurt him more than it hurts me. And then he'd say, "Okay, now unload your pants." And I'd have to take the books out, and he would give me a spanking. That's what keeps him so young. I keep him on his toes.
Yeah. Right.
He's always been amazing. He's always done a lot of things. Up until the time he retired and they sold their home, he used to mow 3 acres of grass. And it was 3 acres of grass. And keep the house up and things like that. So him and Mom were always pretty active.
We had a horse, we had sheep, we had chickens, ducks.
Yeah.
We had a little farm.
Yeah. After I retired, we had bought a travel trailer, and we traveled around the country, all the national parks and whatever. And then we came down to Florida. We moved in here in 2002, so I was 89. When I retired, there was nothing worse than having nothing to do. And so I looked for something to do. And that's why I became involved in the health club. I started with a bike, and I bumped on a bike, you know. And then I moved along the line. I work on 4 machines. I work on the rowing machine, I work on the curler, I work on the leg machine, and I work on the pull down on the weights. Those are the ones I usually work on. I enjoy them all to a degree, I'll put it that way, you know. Sometimes I get kind of tired, but again, I enjoy them all. There's no one specifically that I would say that I enjoy more than another. After I work out, I have a couple of glasses of water and I sit on a chair there and I sit there for about 15, 20 minutes, you know, and I talk with a few of the guys, then I go home and have lunch. Yeah.
That's the perfect way to end the work.
Yeah, right. Well, they call me a poster boy. Yeah, that's right. They call me a poster boy. So I just try and be an example.
We were always proud of Dad.
Yeah, and Dad is always, he's always been cognitive of his ability to do things and to want to maintain his health. So it's a progression of things. It's not something that is brand new to him.
I call him every morning, and Dad comes for dinner every night.
Yeah,
so
every day of the week I see Gail.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see Dad all the time, and it's just wonderful. I am glad that I'm around, that I can cook his dinner, and we can have time together every day.
We're very
Dad
blessed.
is in independent living. I mean, he cooks his breakfast and lunch, and
cleans up
And,
after
what
himself.
more
could we ask for? That is just
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful.
Right.
The Lord's been good to us and to him.
We had a lot of good times. Had a lot of hard times too, but we had a lot of good times. The Lord really blessed me, I'll tell you that. Positive attitude and exercise. I'm like a young kid.
That's it.
Yeah. That's what I always say. I'm like a young kid. How you doing, Joe? I'm like a young kid. I got a big mouth. That's another thing I got.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in next week for more stories and news from around your community.
Until then, this is Shell Point Today for the weekend of October 4th, 5th, and 6th. I'm Dan Filgreen.
And I'm Kara Minui. From all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday.